hear what they would like to do about it. And today is the big day for MEA travel at MSP, how things are looking at the airport for passengers during the government shutdown. Plus, a new way to learn the causes of the most destructive structure fires. We'll talk about how that tool allows investigators to step back into a scene that no longer exists.
All right, let's start though with your weather right now on the 9s. Sean McVeigh is here, and it changed a little bit today. Did you feel a little bit more like humidity almost, or warm?
I hate to admit this, but I love what it feels like right now. This is like the perfect weather. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, just a little bit like
I need a little sun.
Just a little tinge of dampness almost. Yeah. Yeah, you like that?
Good.
Yeah, I think I just stepped outside about 10-15 minutes ago. It's really nice outside, so I'm in agreement. The sun is now out. Yeah, there's a little bit of humidity at the moment, but there's also that nice breeze, which is kind of making it feel a little bit cooler. 66 out the door right now, looking over Minneapolis. The sun is out a lot better than the clouds and just the consistent rain we had earlier this morning. We're not out of the woods completely as it comes to rain showers over the next 2 days, but for the rest of the afternoon, your plans are looking good. Temperatures right now in the metro in the mid-60s, up to the upper 70s in southwestern Minnesota. Holy cow. 79 down there in Windham. That is very warm. You go up north, you got low 50s closer to Canada. So there is a dividing line right here, and that is what was squeezing out our raindrops earlier. We had that in the Twin Cities. It was only like 3 hours ago. Now it's clearing out. Some more rain showers, though, well in western Minnesota next to all those warm temperatures. We'll be talking about where these rain showers will be tonight. They'll be north of the cities and also for your commute tomorrow morning. Stick around. Back to you guys.
All right, John, thank you. Well, our top story here at 5, we're tracking car break-ins in Minneapolis.
Yeah, 124 in just 5 days. Fox 9's So Young Kim is looking into this story today. So Young, that's a lot of vehicles we're talking about here in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and it's just the latest spree that police are investigating. They say this latest spree started on Thursday, and the calls came in from multiple precincts all throughout the city. And let us show you here. We're here on East 22nd Street. You can see there's still shattered glass lining this street. There's cars, multiple cars with windows smashed out, some plastic covering where those windows used to be. And if we swing over here, we also saw additional cars damaged on multiple blocks in the surrounding area. There you're looking at Seabury Avenue, and multiple cars are missing their windows, and there's shattered glass on those streets as well. Police say Monday was the peak number of calls, with nearly reports of 70 cars damaged coming in through that 24-hour period. And coming up at 9, we'll hear from one of those victims. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, I'm sure some of these neighbors probably all having the same kind of conversations. Trying to figure it all out. Thank you, So Young. New tonight, 40 Minnesota waterways tested, and all of them have come back positive for microplastics.
Conservation advocates with Environment Minnesota did this research, just confirming that Minnesota is not exempt from plastic pollution. Fox 9's Karen Scullen going through that today with more on the study. So, Karen, I guess tell us about this study and then how it worked.
Well, basically, this is a citizens science project, basically. So it's not sort of official in any way, but it's pretty legit. So basically, they went to 40 different waterways, lakes and rivers throughout the state of Minnesota, north to south, and they collected samples of water, ran it through a filter. It was pretty simple, and you could see what was left were microplastics, some organic matter, and then microplastics. Now, some of them aren't visible to the naked eye. Some of them are. We could actually see these little tiny blue pieces of plastic on the filters where the water had been filtered through. So it was interesting, and they did this over the summer, and the results are just coming in now, and it really just kind of solidifies what we've already known, and that's that microplastics are now pretty much in everything, everywhere.
And Karen, when you mentioned microplastics and how we can't necessarily see them, what does this all necessarily mean then?
Well, what it means is that we're polluted. Our lakes and waterways are polluted. We know our oceans are polluted. We know it's all in our food, it's in our bodies and everything like that. But now it's just kind of bringing it home here to say, hey, our waterways are polluted in terms of fish, you know, we swim in there, we ski in there. So most likely we're also taking in these microplastics as well, which can be toxic.
Karen, you and I talked about this earlier on All Day, and we were talking about the fact that, you know, the connection between health problems and these microplastics. I mean, it's just, it's still all really up in the air, right?
Right. What we know is that microplastics, like I said, are everywhere, and they don't break down. It's not like Mother Nature could break them down like a banana peel. They live on forever. They just split into tinier and tinier particles. So we end up consuming them. But what we don't know, because the research isn't there yet, is there a direct connection between microplastics and health issues? It's kind of logical to assume that, but we don't like to assume anything, because in the microplastics there are chemicals that are known to be toxic. But again, this research just isn't there yet to make a direct link between microplastics and our bodies and what we keep or what we pass. We just really don't know. So there's still a lot of years of research ahead. But in any case, we don't want polluted waterways. We don't want our bodies to have things that they don't really need or that they shouldn't have. So they're recommending that we try to just pull back from all of our plastics use. One researcher I spoke to today says we're just kind of become codependent on plastic, especially those one-off plastics like plastic water bottles that you use once and then throw away. Really, they're recommending we kind of pull back from those kinds of things.
One more, Environment Minnesota did this. You talked about the fact that it's kind of almost like citizen scientists. If people,
Yep.
you know, how do they get people to sort of like care about this enough to get research to keep funding it? Because like you said, it's out there. We know you go on TikTok and the kids are talking about it. Mom, I don't want plastic bottles anymore. There's microplastics everywhere, right? So, I mean, we kind of feel like it's out there and can't control it. How do they get people more involved?
Well, I think that's what we're waiting on the research for, because we can't, it's hard, you know, you have environmental activists and people who truly care about the environment, and then you have those that maybe don't so much, but if they can make a direct correlation between these microplastics and our health, it might be easier to get everybody on board, to get that funding that's necessary, to do more research. But again, making that direct link is probably a little bit down the road, but we sure do need it to figure out what this is actually doing to our bodies.
Yeah, I think when you start talking about health impacts, that's when the minds start turning a little bit, you know.
Really interesting stuff. All right, thanks, Karen.
New at 5, a rare inside look at how fire investigators across Minnesota are trained to follow the evidence and how a brand new state-of-the-art piece of technology can help. Fox 9's Rob Olson was invited to see this firsthand near the town of Nowvent.
Well, this is a fascinating inside look about how fire investigators are trained by the state fire marshal's office. This is a house in Nowvent. The fire marshal's office does this a couple of times a year in different areas of the state. This is the culmination of a couple of weeks of class. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the fire marshal's office came here, set some fires intentionally for these students to then investigate today. Going through here, their assignment is to figure out what happened. And again, very, very integral, hands-on training at really deducing and investigating how a fire started and where.
So in this house, we have 6 different fire scenes. There are 6 groups. These 6 groups each get the chance to work through and practice all of the stuff that they've learned over the last 2 weeks of instruction, and then they'll present their findings on the origin and the cause of the fire.
What are you looking at?
There's some exposed wires that look like there's some charring going on the end of the electrical cord.
You see that there? Yeah. We've got charring.
From our investigation that there was no water being supplied to the dishwasher. So the dishwasher ran hot.
Now, the students here are also learning something new, some new technology that the fire marshal's office got just a few months ago. It's a $30,000 LiDAR. It scans rooms, stitches them all together, creates a virtual scene so that they can go back and look at that. Now, the students don't use this. The fire marshal's office has this equipment, but they are learning about how to use the results of that, which is can be pretty key in the advancement of fire investigation.
And I can basically fly you through the scene. That's a lot more beneficial than just saying, here's a still picture, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
The class concludes with everybody presenting their findings from this fire scene and see if they got it right. And now then, Rob Olson, Fox 9.
Okay, everybody, today is it. It is the big day of MEA travel weekend at MSP International. This morning, really not that busy. This afternoon, a little bit busier. As we've checked in, the airport, though, does say they expect 52,000 people to go through security today. And that would make today one of the 10 busiest days at MSP since the pandemic. Thankfully, we've only seen just a few flights canceled or delayed today. We'll have much more travel information and advice from MSP. It's all on our website. You can find it at fox9.com.
Well, if you were traveling anywhere, maybe on foot today, you didn't see much sunshine. It's been kind of cloudy. The sun tried to peek out just a little bit, but not much.
It did, yeah. The clouds just kind of part a little bit. But I guess if you're driving somewhere, you don't have to worry about, at least in this area, any kind of storms or anything like that.
Yeah, right now for the metro, things are clearing out nicely. You get north, you get maybe into northern Wisconsin or closer to the Dakotas, there's a couple of trouble spots. But right now in the metro, you're going out, you're driving, it's looking good. But right now, this is a live look at White Bear Lake. Look at the Star-Spangled Banner. It's going flappity-flap pretty quickly. It's windy out there, folks. Winds right now out of the southeast, around 16 miles per hour. And yeah, it's feeling nice now. The sun is out after a cloudier morning with a couple of raindrops. It's also in the mid-60s, which is nice for this time of year. But the breeze, that is palpable. Look at these winds, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour across the state right now. That is going to be here for the rest of the afternoon with that sunshine. So make some plans to get outside, but just be prepared. You will be running into a face full of that wind. Some showers right now in the northern Minnesota River Valley, closer to South Dakota. A couple, you wouldn't call it a storm, but certainly some heavier downpours. Also some of that in northern Minnesota as well. That's basically on the border with Canada, way, way up there. But what's going to happen in the future? Throwing it to Futurecast, a couple of these up and down showers, more spotty really, are going to really move into northern Minnesota through about tonight. Then tomorrow we'll track a couple more light rain showers here and there. That's mostly in the morning before some nice clearing for your Friday afternoon. We'll be coming up with more for your forecast. Stay tuned.
All right, John, thank you. We'll still have the Vikings, of course, getting ready for Sunday's big matchup with Philly.
Yeah, plenty of questions still swirling around the quarterback position. And then sentencing in the case of a deadly buggy crash caused by a woman on meth whose twin sister tried to take the fall for her.
Plus, the ongoing government shutdown is affecting some federal programs and services, so we're going to talk about some new limits for those applying for new SNAP benefits. Stay with us.